we would have a day and it would be calm and they'd burn up a couple hillsides and make massive fire breaks. That doesn't happen anymore. I ran for the state assembly in 2022, had the endorsement of the mayor of Malibu, and this was right after the Woolsey fire that burnt right across the street from my house. And so I said, why aren't we doing this? Why don't we have water? And I never could get a good answer for that. The corruption in California and what we're seeing now, especially with the Palisades, we predicted this before it happened, that if Topanga went up, so would the Palisades or Malibu. What is your thoughts on everything that's gone on with these fires and the corruption that we're now seeing with Gavin Newsom, Karen Bass, and the Democrat legislature?
The truth is about wildfires that past is prologue. These things follow patterns. They're very predictable. So we know they're coming. If you grew up in Laguna, then you surely remember 1993, the same year, we had a massive fire in Topanga that spread through Malibu, ran all the way to the ocean, just like the Woolsey fire did. And we also had a huge fire in Laguna. So these things tend to follow patterns. And what we see typically around Malibu is a 25-year burn pattern. And sure enough, 25 years after the 93 old Topanga fire that ripped up Malibu, you get the Woolsey fire. And the thing is, I remember back in 2021, I was on the 2021 Palisades Fire. It was the second Palisades Fire that I'd been on in 2 years. I remember seeing just how bad the fuels conditions were around Topanga State Park because, like you said, we used to do a lot of prescribed fire in California, and we just don't do it anymore. And no matter how much Gavin Newsom brags about treatment, you'll notice he always uses the word treated. We treated 100,000 acres. They're saying that because treatment includes several other processes that also includes prescribed fire, but isn't prescribed fire. And so by lumping them all together, they can sort of deceive the public to believing that they're actually reducing some of these fuels. Now, it's not just about protecting our communities, but it's also about protecting the wildlands. So much of California is dependent upon fire. It is the most important and critical element for the forest's survival and health. A lot of forest species, they can't even reproduce without the benefit of fire. So by depriving fire from the landscape, we've created a situation where we have these predictable conflagrations coming, and they're just getting worse and worse. And unfortunately, they're always going to pin it on climate and unprecedented conditions. You know, even though the winds on the Palisades fire, they were substantial, but they never got over 38 miles per hour during the initial attack when the fire had already reached the ocean. That's a manageable fire. But they want you to believe that they had unprecedented hurricane force winds because guess what? That gives them their get out of jail free card.